my name's Ritchie. I run an organisation called Nourish Scotland based in Edinburgh. We're all on lockdown like everybody else, so I'm back home on the farm where I live and combining working for Nourish and keeping the farm ticking over.
Great.
And as a farm, we have a sort of local food business. We have a butchery and a shop and a cafe on site too in normal times. So we've always had a sort of strong cohort of very, very regular and loyal customers, for some of whom we've been shopping with us since we opened. We have a system of people having accounts with the farm. So they pay in a certain amount every month, and then they get food. And sometimes they get more food than they pay for, and sometimes they get less food than they pay for. It all balances out. But we're a really small business, and there's only so much we can do. And our supply chain was in big trouble too. A lot of the there was no veg for a while, there was no eggs for a while, there was no milk for a while. As all those producers started sort of rebalance and adapt and change their deliveries, then we could get back onto an even keel. But biggest thing was flour. People went crazy for flour. Can we get some flour? Can I get some yeast? I've got to make my own bread. There's no bread in the shop. So that's all been interesting. But it's settled down a bit now, and basically our regular customers are with us and probably buying a little bit more than they would have done in normal times. And most of our new customers have stuck with us. It's been the meaning of food in their lives has been changed for so many people. And we're on another call this morning, people talking about, neighbours, literally sharing food, leaving food outside their neighbour's door and exchanging food, which just wouldn't have happened before. It's a way of showing concern and solidarity and connection, which food's a great way of doing. So I think there will be some lasting change in that. But we need to build on it rather than just hope that it magically transforms into new buying patterns. Obviously any system which concentrates too much on one particular link in the chain, is vulnerable when that link gets broken. And the US system, has scaled up, since the 1870s, has scaled up meat processing to an extraordinary level. And the whole, I can't remember how many abattoirs are in the States, but I think there are less than there are in the UK. It's a phenomenal concentration of the killing and butchering process, and contributes hugely to both, the oppression of farmers and the oppression of animals that the farmers are trying to look after, because it concentrates so much power in one place and it limits farmers' options to do something different, as well as, completely losing any potential for traceability or provenance or even, state of origin labeling or anything. So people are really disconnected from they just get pork and that's it. They can't know anything about where it came from or how it was produced. So that alienates people from the food system, and its reliance on these huge, whether it's a chicken shed with 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 birds in it, or whether it's a pork processing plant, or whether it's a dairy that has 1,000 cows, or a dairy processing plant that processes for a whole country. All of these sort of so-called economies of scale systems that have grown up in food, I think they're very 20th century. They're very old-fashioned, and it's not clear to me that they're necessary to deliver the sort of food system we want. I've been going on for several years now about, I don't really understand why we don't have containerized abattoirs that are part-time and that the staff simply move to, rather than trying to have a fixed complement of staff that are based at a certain place, but that you have an abattoir which is open in this village or this town on a Monday. Everybody knows it's open on Monday. It's got this capacity, and you book in online, so that you're going to book in, and the workers, work there on a Monday, and then they work the next place on a Tuesday, and they get well paid to do that, and they get to be away from home for a bit. But at the same time, you have a system where you don't have to put a huge investment into continuously staffing a place because it's sort of pre-booked, and that you take the vets out of the physical abattoir and you put them in an office somewhere, and you give them, robots so that they can, be in the abattoirs, be in a number of abattoirs at once, and they can monitor what's going on. You've got CCTV You can use sampling techniques and you can use haptics, and we have all the technology. We've had it for years to be able to do this. We just need to modernise it so that we redesign it from the purpose of minimising animal stress, and maximising the potential of traceability and the local food system, and reintroducing this idea of sort of a real respect for meat. I've always been nice on the farmers, but this idea that you've got to have meat all the time, everywhere available, 24/7, whenever you want it, it's just crazy. It's not how it's not how we need it to be, and it's not how it doesn't work for the planet. So we could redesign the local abattoir system to make better jobs for people, better experiences for animals, and a close connection between producers and consumers. We just, have to want to do it.
Essentially, you say about having a place that would open every so often, because I was reading about mobile abattoir units as a potential. Yeah. I wonder if you know anything about that.
I think it's the same thing. I just think, certainly on our farm, there's lots of farms in Scotland where, having looked at what those things look like, trying to get that up some farm tracks simply is not going to work. So you can invest in improving the farm tracks, which might have other benefits, and improving some of the lanes to the farms. Or you could, as I say, you could take that mobile abattoir, and plonk it in 10 different places and have the staff, go to work there. But I mean, however you do it, I think it's a question of trying to redesign what the objectives of the system are, and if the objectives are, to get animals killed and processed in the cheapest possible way for the plant, then we'll get the system we've got. And if you have different objectives, then like to make better jobs for people and better experiences for animals, then you get a different system.